Happy New Year! Woo! I need one of those hats. No hat. Sorry. Maybe I have a hat. Not sure. So we'll be meeting on Wednesday in person, but this is Monday's class, and I'm going to go over the syllabus, and we're going to do a little review of part writing. Okay. I do, in fact, want to go over the syllabus in detail because I always think it's good when there aren't any questions about stuff. So, one of the things you'll notice is that on these learning outcomes, we've done almost all of them. And that's because we went very quickly and we covered a lot of material in Theory 1. So you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. Before I got here, we used to not cover as much in our theory sequence, and now we cover a lot more. Couple of things. There is a required text. Of course, this was provided for free, or you might have paid me $10 to Xerox it and hole punch it for you. And you are using the same textbook, or the same workbook, excuse me. So your theory workbook, you do not need a new book. If you're in Theory 1 and now you're in Theory 2 and you have your Theory 1 workbook, you just use that same workbook. So you do not need to buy anything new for this class. As long as you have your theory workbook from last semester, then just bring it and you're in good shape. If you did not have theory with me last semester and you need a workbook, please send me an email so we can figure something out. I want to make sure that you have a workbook. Either I can figure out how to print some things for you, or I can send you a PDF and then you can print it. Anyway, if you don't have a workbook, don't stress about it. Just let me know and we'll get it taken care of. Ooh, also, always bring staff paper and a pencil. What happens if you show up and you don't have a pencil? I'll mark you absent. What happens if you show up and you don't have staff paper? I'll mark you absent. What if you show up and you don't have your workbook? I'll mark you absent. I probably won't be marking anybody absent at all these first 2 weeks because there's so many people that are sick. But when you do come to class, you need to have your materials. Don't panic about not showing up with stuff and getting marked absent. I'm not that hardcore. Usually when somebody forgets something one time, I don't care. It's when people forget materials more than once, then I get irritated, and because you got to show up and have your stuff. So staff paper and a pencil, and also bring your workbook. The grading. So one of the things that I think is important is there are a lot of different learning styles and a lot of different ways of demonstrating knowledge. So you'll notice that we have exams, quizzes, assignments, projects. There's a lot of ways that you can score points in the class. The grade is out of 1,000 points. Let's take a look. Quizzes. So there are 8 quizzes, but I will only put the 6 highest scores in. So if you have 6 A's and 2 F's on your quizzes, then you only get 6 A's. Now, if you miss a quiz, let's actually go to the next. Probably should have turned off my phone. Give me a second. Sorry about that. So no screens, don't do that. I'm a mess today. All right, here we go. Moving on. There are exams. Don't miss an exam. I don't want to give a makeup on the exam. In fact, if you miss it, just assume that you're in the doghouse, but you should probably email me and beg, and maybe I'll be nice. But otherwise, there are no exam makeups. You got to be here for the exam. Quizzes. No makeups on quizzes. There are 8 quizzes. I'll only take the top 6 grades. We're going to have a project at the end of the semester. I'll talk more about that when that comes up. And now, attendance and preparedness, again, I'm not taking attendance these first 2 weeks. I've already gotten emails from students who've gotten sick or in isolation or quarantine. And if you've looked at the numbers, from like Johns Hopkins or Center for Disease Control or any of like New York Times, there's like a zillion people in Baldwin County getting COVID every day. Like it's nuts. So while this is going on, if you need to keep yourself safe, do what you can. Now, if you're not here though, you need to either get notes or materials from a friend, or you are invited to FaceTime in with a friend. So if you can't be here and you want to still see the lesson, you're welcome to FaceTime in to a friend's phone and be able to watch the lesson that way. So you're still invited to do that. Make sure you still get assignments and things into me as well. Otherwise, you're allowed 3 personal days. A personal day is a day when you're not here. If you're sick, that's a personal day. If there was, you need to spend time with your family, that's a personal day. If you, whatever. If you're not here, that's a personal day. 3 personal days. If you are coming late to class and constantly every two times you're late, I'll mark that as an absence. So please be on time. Office hours. Please come find me. Let's hang out. I really want you to do well. And if I can help you by giving you additional explanation or showing you or extra practice or showing some other things, please let me know. Or if you just need to talk about some stuff. I can tell you that, there's a lot going on, and sometimes you might just need to get a second opinion or just have a sounding board for your academic career. Please let me know. I really want you to be successful, not just in my class, but in school and in life. The reason I'm at Georgia College is because I'm really passionate about student success, and not just students, but just the success of human beings, and all of you are great people, and I want you to do really well. There's a lot of stuff that goes into the syllabus that you can find on required syllabus statements. Talks about COVID, other things. A few that I really want to talk about, we have a religious observance policy, and if you need to take a day for a religious observance, please let me know, and let me know way in advance, like beginning of the semester. Say, hey, I know that in March or April I have like a religious holiday that I need to take, and then I'll find a way to work with you. So that's very important. Also very important is I have a lot of different learning styles in my class with so many different students, and some of my students can best demonstrate their knowledge and their skill in my class if they have an accommodation with either testing or with the class or with notes. That's very important. I want you to do your best. I want you to be able to demonstrate your knowledge. So please work with our disability center, our disability student services, and reach out to them, make an appointment, and I will also do everything that I can working with our disability services to make sure that you do your very best in my class and have those accommodations. There are other stuff in here that I think is good to take a look at. Here's our schedule. We're going to be starting with some review. So I'm going to do a little review now when we're done with the syllabus. And I will spend Wednesday. Wednesday will be an all review day. So no new material, just going back and working on some of our part writing and figure bass. Then starting on Friday, we're going to get right into doing seventh chords, specifically resolving 5, 7 to 1. And we're going to be doing 5, 7 chords in different inversions. You might have noticed that in Theory 1, we only did a lot of part writing with triads, and putting sevenths is going to give us a little bit richer harmony. We do have a quiz coming up. Next week, we will have a review quiz. It will be on some part writing and spelling our chords. I will have a practice quiz for you before Martin Luther King holiday weekend. So that way you'll know exactly what's on it, but it will be on this review that we're doing. In our second unit, we're going to look at how we can put a 7 on all these different chords. And we're also going to talk about sequences, musical sequences. Getting into our spring break time, around in our third unit, we're going to be looking at harmony that is not in the key signature. We're going to start adding lots of sharps and flats and doing all that kind of stuff I don't know why I keep getting calls. I guess people don't think I'm making a video on Sunday morning for my students. Where the hell was I? What was my train of thought? Oh, Unit 3, notes outside the scale, right? Like if we're in the key of C major, you don't expect to see a B flat or an F sharp. But we're going to see all the harmonies that are outside the scale, where we have chromaticism, sharps and flats outside our key signature. And then when we get to Unit 4, we're gonna be changing keys. I'll show you all the different ways you can change from one key to another that we see in common practice music. So we're going to cover a lot, and we're going to get through a lot of very interesting harmony, like moving outside keys, changing keys, things like that, adding sevenths, all that stuff. So we've got a lot going on. I do want you to note that every date is already on here. So please, write down your exams in your calendar, put the quizzes in, put when assignments are due. It's all there. So, all of the assignments you'll notice are on Friday. I'll always give assignments on Monday, due Friday, and I'll typically give practice quizzes in advance of each Wednesday quiz. I'll have practice exams in advance of our Friday exams. So I'll give you lots of resources and things to help you out. And I think that's it. Let's do a quick recap. What are all the important things from the syllabus? Always bring staff paper and a pencil. Always bring your workbook. Ooh, these are good tips. No screens. Oh yeah. So every time you're checking your phone and I'm teaching, all I can think is, I wonder what's going on. Why are they checking their phone? And I get distracted. And not only am I distracted, you're distracted, and you're no longer paying attention to my great teaching. So if you're using your phone throughout my class, I'm just going to assume that you're not here because you're somewhere else, you're on your phone. And so please, no screens. That's another thing that I can mark absent. No quiz makeups, but I threw out the 2 lowest scores. There are 3 personal days that you can take before your attendance grade drops, and I'm letting you know that I'm not taking attendance these first 2 weeks. I'll start taking attendance when people aren't all getting sick in this county. Please note the due dates on quizzes and exams, and That's what's supposed to say assignment due dates. There we go. There we go, better. And of course, your first quiz is coming up next week on Wednesday. So that's the syllabus. Oh, here's another one. If there's something that I said and needs more clarification, send me an email or ask me on Wednesday. I want to make sure everything's clear about our class. Well, let's go ahead and get into some part writing review. So this is from page 58. And we're going to do just a little bit of part writing together, and then we're going to do some more on Wednesday. Let's do this. Let's do this one in A major up here. So page 58, and I'm going to zoom in. Here's what I'd like you to do is I'm going to ask you to pause when I say pause. That means you can stop and kind of work some things out on your own, and that will give you a chance to kind of work on some stuff. And probably, why don't you go ahead and start by figuring out how to spell each of these harmonies. So go ahead and pause and figure out how to spell. Don't do the part writing yet. Just figure out how to spell the chords. So pause and spell your chords. Okay, so go ahead now, you're unpaused, and let's take a look. This will be F sharp minor. This will be E minor. This will be E major. And this will be A. There we go. And it's all root position. Now, when we go from a 5 to a 6 chord in root position, right, both root position, one of the things that we want to do is we want to double the third. This is one that's easy to forget. This is our deceptive motion, right? 5 typically likes to go to 1, but we find that the part writing is a lot smoother when we go 5 to 6, and on the 6th chord we double the third. Now let's take a look. We're going to have an F sharp, 2 A's, and a C sharp. If you want to go ahead and try this out on your own and pause, you can. But if you want to kind of just walk it through with me, that's also fine too. So either pause and maybe figure out this next one on your own, or we'll just do it together. I know that since we're in root position, we need to go to F sharp in the bass. I know we have 2 A's. We should have one voice going up to A and another one going down to A. So we have that nice contrary motion. Let's have G sharp go up to A and B go down to A. Looks so nice. And then we need a C sharp. There it is. Looking good. All right. Now we're going from a 6 chord to a 2 chord. And typically, when we go from 6 to 2, F sharp to B, root to root, this is root to root motion by 4th or 5th. And there are multiple ways to do it, so let's just do this one together. Because this is a root position chord, I'm going to try to double the root. In fact, I think on all of these 2, 5, 1, since they're all root position, let's just go ahead and double the root on all of them. It's not necessarily the worst thing on the planet if you double something else, but when you're doing root position, you typically see the root doubled. So we know that we're going to put a B here. And I'm looking at both of these A's. I'm thinking this A should go up to a note and this A should come down to a note. Why don't we have this A go up to B, so we have our two B's, and this A can come down to F sharp, like this. So anytime you have an octave, it's always good to look and have your octaves go in different places, so you don't have parallel octaves. You have that nice independence in your voices. And then we also need a D. Look at that. Let's go to the next chord. Again, it's going to be root to root, right? Root position 2 to root position 5. Again, this is by 4th or 5th. I'm going to go ahead right here. And generally our rules with root position to root position by 4th or 5th is the top 3 voices will either move smoothly together up or smoothly together down. You get your choice. So on this one, we could have our soprano go up, or we could have our soprano go down. There's 2 correct ways to do it. I'm feeling down. Let's just go down, I guess. So we're going to have our top voices all going down. So D will come down to B. And F sharp will go to E. And B will go to G sharp. And again, you'll notice that we have lots of independent voicing, right? We have some parallel thirds, which is okay. Here we have some oblique motion, because this one's moving only a step, and these are moving by third. And then, of course, the bass is leaping up. So lots of independent parts. Now we're going from 5 to 1. And again, this is root to root, right? We're going root position to root position again by 4th or 5th. So we have options. Do we want our voices to go up, or do we want our top 3 voices to come down? Well, do we want to go, here's the leading tone. Since the leading tone's in the tenor, the leading tone can go T, Do, but the leading tone can also go T, So, right? The leading tone doesn't have to go T, Do because it's in the tenor, right? If it's in the soprano, then we do want to go T, Do. It doesn't sound right if it goes T, So in the soprano, but it's okay. So we have our choice. We can have T, Do and have everybody go up, or we can have T, So, and everyone comes down. Either way is fine. Let's frustrate the tenors. We'll have them go T, So. So everybody comes down. Re, Do, So, Mi, Ti, So. So there it is. Our voices come down. Well, we got to hear this puppy. The soprano part's screaming out for some passing tones. What do you think? And now I feel like the alto is screaming out for some passing tones. There we go. Let's hear how this sounds. Let me play the right notes. Let's do one more of these. Let's do the one in, let's do this one here with some first inversion. E flat major. All right, why don't you go ahead and, again, pause and spell each of the chords. Go ahead and pause and spell the chords. There we go, F minor, B flat major, and E flat major. Okay, so this one is in first inversion. So let's do a quick review. If we're in first inversion, so we're going from a root position to a first inversion, what can we double? How do we do it? Can we double the F? Sure. Can we double the A flat? Yes. Can we double the C? We can. Remember, when we're in first inversion, we have a lot of freedom on what we can double. The only thing we won't double is we will not have two leading tones. The leading tone in the key of E flat major is D, so we cannot have a chord with two Ds. The leading tone is very special. We only see one in a harmony in that key. But we can have any of these be double. So the trick is to look for octaves in this chord, look for our octaves, make sure one goes one way and the other goes another way, right? Just have them go to different notes so we don't have parallel octaves. So this is in first inversion. Let's have our bass go down to A flat. And here's my octaves, E flat and E flat. If this bass is going to A flat, why doesn't this E flat go to F? And, this does not look right. Yeah, parallel fifths, yucko. I'm not crazy about the parallel fifths. Okay, well, I guess we're doubling the A flat. And that means we'll also need a C. There we go. So now we have A flats approached by oblique motion. So that'll work nicely. Okay, well now we're going to B flat major, and this is in root position, so let's go ahead and double the root. And similarly, let's make sure that we find our octaves in this chord and make sure they go different ways. So we have two A flats. Let's have one A flat go one way and the other A flat go the other way. This A flat can go up to B flat. And this A flat should not go to B flat. Look at this, parallel octaves. Wrong. Don't do that. Probably a better one is to come down here to the F. So the sopranos can go A flat to F. Oh, altos can go F down to D. And tenors can come down to the B flat. So there we have two B flats, D and F. That looks pretty good. And then lastly, we're going to a 1/6. So again, because it's a first inversion, we can double anything we want. And since it's first inversion, we're going to put G in the bass. Remember, first inversion chords, you always put the third in the bass. And we just need to make sure our octaves do different stuff. So here's my two B flats. This B flat goes to G. This other B flat, it can just stay. And so we have G, B flat, and we need an E flat. We have lots of ways to do this. If we wanted, we could have sopranos and altos share the E flat. That would work. We could have the sopranos go back up to a G. That's good too. Lots of options. First inversion, you have a lot of freedom on how you do your voicing. We'll just do it this way, and let's hear how it sounds. Doesn't sound very final because we didn't end on a root position one. We just ended on 1/6, so we're waiting for more to happen. I think that's plenty for a day one of a class. On Wednesday, we'll do a little bit more. We're going to continue doing some review. Thanks for putting up with me.